Affirmative action means that an entity has a program in place to overcome the effects of past or present practices, policies, or other barriers to equal employment opportunity. Affirmative action employers actively seek to identify, hire, and promote qualified members of underrepresented groups. That is, they do more than simply not discriminate. Affirmative action programs exist for one of three reasons. The first reason, which is to comply with Executive Order 11246. Second, any employer can decide to engage in affirmative action, even if not required by law to do so. Many managers understand the contributions that a diverse workforce can make to company success, and they actively seek to recruit, hire, and promote individuals from many different racial and ethnic backgrounds. This type of affirmative action program exists out of the goodwill of the employer, the belief that affirmative action is the right thing to do, and the belief that it can help the company prosper in the long run. After all, if your customer base is diverse, doesn't it make sense for your workforce to be diverse? Third, companies may have affirmative action programs resulting from a court-ordered consent decree. These decrees result from a court finding that an employer is guilty of discriminating against a protected group in its employment management practices. In such cases, the court will identify what the employer needs to correct and for how long the decree is in effect. Affirmative action plans under Executive Order 11246 are periodically reviewed by the OFCCP and require the company to engage in three activities. First, conduct a utilization and availability analysis. This analysis is a profile of a company's current workforce relative to the pool of qualified workers in the relevant labor market. Companies must first identify the demographic profile of current employees in certain job groupings, for example, managerial, secretarial, and technical. Second, companies must identify the percentage of individuals in the relevant labor market, the appropriate comparison group of skilled employees who are in each job grouping. Third, companies must then compare these two demographic profiles. For example, the company will have to determine what percentage of administrative assistants already in the company are female and what percentage of individuals in the workforce that may work as administrative assistants are female. If a company's percentage for a demographic category is considerably lower than the percentage of the demographic category available in the labor market, that protected group is said to be underrepresented or underutilized for that job group. Next, we identify goals and timetables. The next step is to establish goals and timetables to address underutilization. It is important to understand that goals are not the same as quotas. Quotas involve hiring a certain number of employees from a protected classification and are often met by hiring underqualified applicants or applicants who are less qualified than others just to make the numbers. The OFCCP explicitly bans quotas. The last step in an affirmative action program is to develop and implement an action plan to accomplish the goals established in Step 2 to eliminate underutilization in the company's workforce. Companies may use a number of tactics to provide greater opportunities to underutilized groups. Companies can modify where they advertise open positions to target certain demographic groups. Also, they can train current employees to increase the potential for promotions into job categories that are underutilized. The OFCCP reports many successes as a result of affirmative action programs required of federal contractors, including more females moving into management positions in Fortune 1000 companies, employment of people with disabilities, and minority groups entering positions in companies that might not otherwise have been accessible to them. There is a downside to affirmative action, however. Employees hired under affirmative action plans may be perceived as less qualified than other coworkers. As a result of this perception, they may end up not receiving equal treatment in the workplace. Some argue that affirmative action improves the quality of group performance and creativity and can lead to greater variety of perspectives. Others point out the negative outcomes, such as less group integration and lower organizational attachment. Another problem associated with affirmative action is reverse discrimination. This type of discrimination occurs when members of a protected group are given preference in employment decisions, resulting in discrimination from non-protected groups. However, if two parties, one minority and one not, are equally qualified and the company has an affirmative action plan, hiring the minority applicant may be appropriate.